Claudia's undeniable wealth was reflected in the stately mansion, which stood proudly in the city's most affluent area, reaching the pinnacle of its expansive windows. With a sense of accomplishment, she looked over her land and remembered all, the hard work, sacrifice, and success that had brought her to this point. She was now affluent, influential, and well-respected. Andrew, the woman's husband, stood at her side, appearing to share in her happiness, though she failed to notice the subtle hint of unrest in his gaze. Is this what they call Earth Paradise? Claudia? She reached out to grab Andrew's hand as he spoke in a low, emotionless voice. Her tone was warm and measured, and she said, "Yes, Andrew, this is everything I've ever dreamed of, and it's only the beginning for us." Claudia had established her empire through toil and perseverance. Her life's rhythm had been the relentless pursuit of work, which had carried her ahead despite setbacks. She spoke with an unusually light tone. "I've reserved that restaurant you love. You deserve it. Tonight, let's go out to dinner." Andrew loved this quality in her, her relentless determination and discipline. "Hey, Andrew." As Claudia adjusted her earrings in the mirror, Andrew stole a short glimpse at himself, feigning a smile while indicating his agreement. However, there was a hint of disgust in his expression. Claudia, busy with her appearance and her plans for the evening, missed the change in his expression. Claudia's world revolved around her business deals, contracts, and major decisions consumed. Her days, she believed Andrew to be the ideal partner, someone to share her life and ambitions. But Andrew was a man of his own desires, younger, charming, and restless. He had married Claudia not only for her brilliance but for the life of comfort and privilege she provided. Later that evening, Claudia received a call she couldn't ignore. Andrew found himself alone in the dining room, where he observed her retreated with annoyance before retrieving his phone. His fingers moved deftly across the computer as he dispatched a fast message. "It's clear, meet me now." He tucked the phone aside and finished his drink, his face calm. Even charming, as Claudia returned for Claudia, it was just another one of Andrew's solo outings. The nights where he claimed to be meeting an old friend or going for a quiet drink alone, she trusted him, preoccupied as she was with her empire, too consumed by her responsibilities to notice the patterns in his behavior. "Enjoy your evening, Andrew," she said, planting a kiss on his cheek before returning to her work. Andrew smiled, stepping out into the night. With a purpose, he drove rapidly to a dimly lit parking area just beyond the neighborhood, waiting for him. There was Victor, Claudia's much younger business associate. "Everything's ready." Andrew questioned, his voice low but anxious. Victor nodded, his arms crossed as he leaned against his car. "Sheck be taking the car tomorrow morning for her meeting. It's all set. No one will suspect a thing." Andrew's lips curled into a faint smile. "Nice, this is our chance. Once she's out of the way, everything she's built will be mine, ours." Victor's eyes glittered with anticipation. For both men, the plot was not simply about killing Claudia, but also taking the empire she had built. Claudia trusted Victor, implicitly relying on him for important choices in her business. It was that confidence that had given him the access he needed to tamper with the brakes of her car, assuring that the imminent accident would appear as a tragic misfortune. "What about after?" Victor asked, his tone cautious. "Wick, keep it simple. Grieve, of course, but I'll take over immediately with her gone. Everything transfers to me, unbeknownst to the two conspirators. A street girl named Mia was huddled near the edge of the parking lot, seeking shelter from the cold. She had seen Andrew's car pull in and was curious enough to creep closer, staying hidden in the shadows as the two men's conversation unfolded. Mia pieced together the plot. She realized that the woman they were targeting must be Claudia, a name she had heard before, spoken in awe by passers-by. Mia's mind raced as she tried to decide what to do. She had no family, no home, and no ties. Most people ignored her, and she had learned to survive by staying invisible, yet she couldn't shake the feeling that she had to do something. The weight of what she'd overheard pressed on her chest, After Andrew and Victor left, Mia slipped away, determined to find Claudia. The next morning, as Claudia prepared to leave for her meeting, Mia positioned herself outside the gates of the mansion. She had spent the night pacing and rehearsing her words, unsure of how to approach someone so far removed from her world when she saw the sleek car pulling out of the driveway. She ran toward it, waving her arms frantically. Claudia stopped abruptly, rolling down her window with a mix of annoyance and curiosity. "What are you doing here?" she demanded. "I need to talk to you. It's about your safety," Mia shouted, her voice trembling but desperate. Claudia's brow furrowed as she inspected the car. "We need to chat." Maya hesitated before climbing into the passenger seat. Claudia drove to a secluded location where they could speak freely as Mia recounted everything she had overheard. Claudia's mind raced the betrayal cut deeply, but it also ignited a fierce resolve within her. "You've done something incredibly brave," Claudia said finally. "Now I need your help." The two planned a strategy, one that would not only expose Andrew and Victor, but also guarantee they suffered. For their betrayal, Claudia began by contacting her lawyer, rewriting her will to prevent Andrew from inheriting anything in the event of her death. Under suspicious circumstances, she also planned for a staged accident to make it appear as though Andrew's plan had worked. The next morning, news of Claudia's tragic accident circulated swiftly. Andrew played the character of the grieving widower with aplomb receiving condolences with a carefully constructed face of sorrow. Victor stayed in the background, confident that they had achieved. Mia, meanwhile, worked quietly with Claudia, who was safe in a secluded location together. They observed Andrew and Victor's movements, gathering evidence of their plot. It wasn't long before the two men began to make arrangements to take control of Claudia's assets during the reading of the will. Andrew and Victor's expectations were shattered when the lawyer revealed the clause preventing them from inheriting anything before they could react. Claudia entered the room alive and well. The shock on their faces was evident. "Surprised to see me?" Claudia questioned, her voice calm but infused with steely resolve. Andrew stammered, searching for words, while Victor remained silent, his face pale. Claudia laid out everything she knew, her words cutting through their weak denials. By the time the police arrived to arrest them, the two men were resigned to their fate as the dust settled. Claudia turned her attention to Mia. "You saved my life," she said, her voice soft but filled with conviction. "I won't forget what you've done." Claudia provided Mia a place in her home, an opportunity to rebuild her life over time. The two created a connection built on trust and mutual respect. Claudia taught Mia the skills she would need to navigate the world, while Mia reminded Claudia of the importance of loyalty and courage together. They began a new chapter, their lives forever changed by the events that had brought them together. For Claudia, it was a chance to rebuild not just her empire but her faith in others. For Mia, it was an opportunity to find a home and a future, one she never thought possible.